What are some of the positions that you think are going to have particularly strong battles, throughout the whole spring and going into fall?
I mean, really, that was kind of one of our objectives this spring, is to have competition at every single position. And so that's what we're trying to develop, as much competition at each of the positions as possible, so that we're developing depth at the same time that we're competing for that top spot.
How's the transition been with the defensive staff kind of coming out here in the first 2 days?
I think it's been good for the first 2 days. They've had 2 days of install. Kids are learning. A lot of the concepts are different for them, so they're having to really work hard at concentrating and focusing on what their job is. But I thought the guys have done a good job.
How are they responding to having new coaches?
I think they're a new. We got some new guys over there. They've got a new philosophy, a new defense. I think they're excited about it. I think they really are. I think they're anxious to show who they are.
How the 9 early enrollees looking their first couple of days?
Their heads are smoking, and not just because of the weather. It's 2 days of install. It's college classes. It's we're right in that point in the semester where they're having tests and papers with midterms and all those things. So it's tough on them. But I tell you what, all 9 of those guys have done a really nice job. One, bonding together is 9 guys, and then bonding with this team, and the team's bringing them along. So they're doing a good job.
What is Marquise able to do this spring?
Get a lot of mental reps. He's able to help Caleb Henderson. He's able to help Anthony Ratliff. He's able to do a lot of coaching and a lot of learning at the same time.
You guys got a lot of guys back on offense this spring. Where are some areas you guys are looking for some improvement?
I'd say we need improvement in the offensive line, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, and the quarterback. If we get improvement in those areas, we're going to be all right.
How big of a change stylistically will the new defensive set be?
Well, you still got to still line up. You still got to make tackles. You still got to run to the football. All those things. I mean, so it's still. I mean, you go from a 4-man front. I mean, from a 4-2-5 to a 4-3. To the naked eye, probably a lot of people won't see a whole lot of difference in alignments and all those kind of things. But we'll probably be a little bit simpler in what we do.
Defensively, is there one position group that Coach Chizik's maybe spent some more time with, or is he kind of just all over?
No, he's kind of been floating around. I mean, he's been with the secondaries, he's been with the linebackers, he's been with the D-line, so he's moving around quite a bit. I hadn't spent a lot of time watching, what he's doing, but I mean, I know he's told me he's been floating in and out.
With having as much experience returning on the offensive side of the ball, have you seen kind of a continuity and kind of like a better rhythm?
Yeah, I would say with that, the first unit that goes out there, those guys know what to do. So now it's, the challenge for them is to take it to another level. I mean, what we were last year wasn't good enough. It wasn't, that was average, and we don't expect to be average. So we've got to get a lot better. So they've got to push each other to be better.
How's the message been to the guys as they're kind of adapting to this new system?
Basically, it's been selflessness, toughness, and discipline. I mean, that's what we start with in everything we do. And, I think that's for any football player, but certainly that's a message for our team right now. These guys got to be selfless. They can't care who gets the credit. They got to be very tough in terms of this is a tough game, and it's for tough guys. And they've got to get that mentality built up, kind of callous their mind to what this game is, and then the discipline part of it. We got to be a much better football team when it comes to the discipline of the little things we're asking guys to do within the defense. So that's kind of been our mantra since we started. And I think that it's catching on slowly but surely.
Is there any group that's ahead of the others? Right? I mean, it's obviously very early.
Yeah, no, there's no group. There's no groups ahead. I'm pleased with the effort. I'm pleased with the care factor. I think there's a great care factor here, and the guys that want to be good. They want to be better. And so as long as you have the care factor with what's going on, then you always got a chance to improve.
What do you think about the pieces you have on defense?
Well, I'm excited about it. I think that we got some really good players at different spots, and I think we got some guys that with some more experience potentially have a chance to really be productive players. And so I'm really excited about that. And again, we're only in day 2. And so we're not getting excited about a lot of things right now other than the fact that they care and, they're trying. And that's what we're looking for right now, because the schematic part will come.
With 2 of your new coaches coming from Nebraska, how much does that help you guys as far as communication and being on the same page?
It's been great. It's really, really been great because we all are kind of from a very similar 4-3 background. And that certainly makes the transition easier, both from coaches to players in meetings, and then when we're having dialogue amongst ourselves, just understanding, because we've been in very similar defenses with similar names, the dialogue between ourselves coaching-wise. So I think it's really been a very smooth transition in that regard.
How are the players responding to implementing a new scheme?
Like I said, I think they really care. I think they're really trying to focus and pay attention to the details. A lot of moving parts right now with with learning new things in a new language. But I'm very pleased with after 2 days what we've seen in terms of effort.
So I know it's early, but first impressions?
Of the defense?
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, I see a bunch of hungry guys that want to be coached the right way and coached hard, and that's what I'm pleased with. Now, we ain't playing today, which is great, and we got a long way to go, but I'm seeing guys that are hungry. They want to be coached. They want to get better, and they have their mission set to be a better football player each and every day they walk and take the field, and that's all you can ask for as a coach.
Going back a little bit, what kind of played into your decision to come to North Carolina?
I tell you what, a lot of it had to do with, Coach Fedora is a guy I've known since I was 19 years old, and I respect the heck out of him. And I'm a guy that's lived my life with challenges. And what a great opportunity as a coach to come here to work with a guy you respect and admire a lot, to have a chance to learn from a guy like Coach Chizik, who's coached 3 Thorpe Award winners. So for me professionally, that was a great ability for me to come here and learn. But 2, to come work with a guy like Coach Fedora, who I know is trying to do things the right way, is a hard charger. I respect the heck out of him. So it's just a great fit.
Is there anything specific you're trying to bring from Nebraska here to implement with these guys?
I don't know if it's so much what I'm bringing from Nebraska, just me as a coach. My background's a little different than most, being in the military for 10 years, and my players will tell you, it's all about discipline. And just to bring that discipline and structure to these players and make them be accountable. I think all kids want discipline. And so for these guys, the number one thing from the minute they walk in the room to when they walk off the practice field is all about discipline and organization. So for me personally, I'm trying to bring and instill that upon those guys, both on and off the field.
From a technique perspective, are you kind of teaching your guys to look back at the ball, or is it more kind of about looking through the hands and what the receivers are doing?
We got to always be in position before we can ever look for a ball. We got to find the guy we're covering down the field. So for me, it's all about, am I in phase or out of phase? I got to be in phase, up on that guy's body before I can ever try to make a play on a football, because you'll see it every weekend. As soon as the guy looks back for the ball out of phase, the ball's caught by the receiver. So we're going to battle to get in position, and once we're in position, then we can turn our attention to the ball.